What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Rome from the Splits and Sake podcast. And today I'm doing something different. It's nothing different that I normally do, it's just different for uh, this specific channel. Judging by the title of this podcast, I'm going to be talking about an interesting topic that has been coming across my mind, but also that's something that's been important to me, especially if you've been following what it is I do on my other platforms, which is mental health and anime. Being that this is mostly an anime-based podcast, but I also like to dive into the topics of mental health when I do my own thing. So I'm trying to talk in a perspective where they both combine. I mostly want to try and create like a safe space for people who can relate and see like how they both kind of work. And there's a group of people who I mostly want to try to connect with. And it's an interesting group of people where when most of us was coming up getting into anime, even people who were older than me were first getting into anime, it was something that was looked down upon. It wasn't something that was cool or whatnot. Like even like going to school and hearing your friends not really talking about anime that much. Probably talk about other things, but anime wasn't really that big. And another thing would be at home when you would watch anime and usually like an older sibling or your parents would be like, oh, you watching those Japanese cartoons or whatever, just kind of like disrespecting what it kind of is, like looking down upon it. So we were, not me specifically, but there was a group of people who were like looked down upon for like enjoying anime. And now there's a shift in the fandom and the community in current times where it's kind of the cool thing to do to watch anime. Like anime is just mainstream in a sense. Everybody talks about it, everybody cosplay it. The fact that we have places like DreamCon, which is like, DreamCon is a place where in theory at a certain point in time, those two worlds shouldn't mix. But it became so mainstream and so cool and more open to talk about anime that they mix now. So that's why it's like one of the largest anime-based conventions out there. But I feel like now there's the people who were in that era of being bullied for watching anime and enjoying anime. I feel like they no longer have a voice, and when they do try to speak, they come off kind of like elitist, as in like, oh, we was already watching this back then, like y'all need to catch up, man, y'all now getting into anime and whatever. So now it makes us look like we're just, the lack of a better words, the assholes of the anime community, because now we're trying to like tell people like, oh, back in our days, like we're sounding like the old heads when it comes to anime. And I feel like those people aren't being properly represented and talked upon, because like I said, it was just a weird shift of like, oh, you like anime, you weird, to, oh, everybody likes anime, but I was already liking anime and now I'm weird for already liking it before you guys, because now I come off arrogant. But for the most part, it's because anime meant something for people when they was coming up with it, and for see a lot of people just jumping into it like it's just no thing. That's where I'm not gonna say an issue, but my personal situation with anime is like, I can't, like, I know people who do it. I believe even Hendrix does it sometimes. I can't just watch anime like it's regular TV. It's Like, it's too important for me to just throw it on and just put it on in the background. Like, I really need to be invested into the story. So before I jump into that, I want to do a little backstory on myself, why this is an important topic to me. Going back in 2010, 2011, I had a shift in my mental state where you could say I was going through a depression. Things I just wasn't really fond of life at the time. And there was a lot of things that I used to do in my life that I kind of gave up on doing. Like, I used to play sports a lot. I gave up on doing that because I realized that I was kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. So I was in a state of my life where I was just a blank canvas and I didn't know what to do with myself. So fast forward into senior year, I talked about this on the podcast, where senior year, for the most part, we have free time to just talk. I mean, not talk, a free time to just do whatever, because we barely get homework because we're graduating. There's no grading. It's not that serious if you already got all like your major credits leading up to the end of the school year. So I had that time to focus on the things that I was interested in life. So I went back. I remember I used to like One Piece back then, but One Piece was always not getting the best representation in America at the time. It was always getting canceled. It was always getting dropped. We got the bad 4Kids dubbing at the time. So I finally took the time to say I want to see what's going on with One Piece, because I really did enjoy it. So I went back into it, started from the beginning. I caught up to it. When I caught up to it, the time skip had just happened, so I felt like it was a good spot for me to catch up, because it felt like I caught up on this whole, like, everything. Like, I felt like I caught up on everything I missed, and now we on this new journey. The time skip just happened. Now I just feel like I'm starting this journey with the characters. Then going into other animes, I started branching out. Death Note was a big one for me. That was the first time I realized that story was important in anime. It wasn't just about the cool fight scenes and the power-ups and the shonen tropes. So I got interested in learning about storytelling. And that didn't evolve until I watched the anime Durarara. To see how a story of multiple characters from multiple points in the story collide into one story at the end, and I felt like that was very intriguing to me. So that pushed me into wanting to write my own stories, and wanted to do my own thing. Like, anime became a way where I was able to express myself when I no longer knew how to express myself, going through my dark period of time. I didn't know how to I didn't know how to smile no more. I didn't know how to talk no more. I was kept to myself. So finding anime again, because I did watch anime when I was a child, but it was a passing thing, because it was mostly like my older brothers and my older cousins was watching it. We just watched it like, oh, y'all watching Dragon Ball Z? We watched it. But to finally watch it on my own, it wasn't until senior year of my high school. And learning how to express myself through stories and be able to express what I feel inside and to put it on the screen here, and I could see like certain animes telling certain stories that I can relate to. Going into an anime called Welcome to NHK, where the story basically is about I don't know how old he is. I would say he would be in his college years, but he's a hikikomori, which is usually people who are like shut-ins. Like, they literally live inside their homes. They don't really go out. Their homes like look like one big garbage disposal. Like, trash is everywhere. They don't go out. They don't do nothing. They live off their parents' allowance or whatever. Because there's a difference between a hikikomori and a NEET, where NEETs, like, they're similar, but they can still have a social life and still be out and about. but for the most part, they don't go to school, they don't work, they don't do nothing but just the typical watch anime, play video games, read manga. But Hikikomori are people who just like legit refuse to just go out for the most part. So he met this girl who was like trying to understand about Hikikomoris and trying to help him like overcome the situation, because he was dealing with a lot of anxiety and PTSD from, you know, when he was in society when he was younger, and like people kind of mocked him and bullied him, and then brought him to like a state of depression where he just refuses to be around people. And that's exactly where I was at my life at some point in time. Like I wasn't comfortable living where I was living. I was living with my father and his family at the time, and I wasn't comfortable just living there. Like I would just be shut into my room doing what I do, even to the point where usually I would play my Xbox like downstairs on the bigger TV. I'll take my Xbox, like the moment when I first like got like a computer or some sort and a monitor, I packed up my Xbox and took it into my room. So I had no reason to like leave my room unless I had to go to school. And that's why I enjoyed college a lot, because it felt like it was an escape to no longer being in the same bubble, I guess. Felt like I was able to explore, and that's where I started getting into different things such as podcasting and music and all of that other stuff. Just learn how to find new ways to express myself and venture out in different creative ways. I ended up becoming a big creative person. That's what I went to school for. So that was like, anime was like that big gateway into learning how to express myself creatively. And that's why I very urge people to find a way to create, to express themselves creatively. I find that more therapeutic than other ways to express yourselves. I mean, if people find another way that works for them, that's, you know, that's your own journey, that's your own path. But I personally prefer creative expression, because you get to tell a side of yourself that mostly not only that other people don't get to see, but not even yourself get to see. Like, you didn't think you were capable of doing certain things creatively until you actually put yourself out there and do it. Like doing this. After what I just told you about me being a shut-in, and you just saw people walking past me, like I'm out in the open in the public just doing this because I got to the point where I'm cool with expressing myself creatively, even if that means I got to put myself out in open and uncomfortable situations. But I'm comfortable doing this because that's where I am in my life. I enjoy doing things like this. I enjoy doing the podcast because I enjoy creating stuff. For the most part, like I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like when it comes to the video editing and all of that, that's mostly on my end. Just getting to the point where you can enjoy yourself, enjoy things in life, and find a way to express yourself in different ways. And anime for me was the opening gateway. I could also say music, but that's another topic for another time. But for the most part, it was anime for me. So going into that, I feel like, so to bring it back full circle, I feel like the people who are not, I'm not gonna, you know, wholeheartedly say that that's the truth, that, you know, there's a group of people who feel like they no longer have a voice. I mean, they felt they never had a voice because they had one point of their lives where liking anime was laughed upon and taboo, to now everyone likes anime, but you already liked it before. So if you speak about it, you come off a certain way because your experience is far different from the casual person who just turned on My Hero Academia or whatever the, you know, is it Tokyo Revengers? Well, you know how much I hate about that show. Not Tokyo, but that's not the anime I was thinking about. Jujutsu Kaisen, that's another big one. Like, I can't, and that's why I dropped a lot of these animes that are, you know, a lot of people like, because I feel like some of them, they might have good stories, but I feel like some of these animes are intentionally being made for the sense of they want to be popular. Like they want to be Naruto. Naruto, you know, like I said, as much as I have my love-hate situation with Naruto, Naruto was the anime that thrust the anime culture into the spotlight. And now even going forward with One Piece, like I said, like One Piece was getting done dirty in America. Like you have no idea, like the 4Kids dub was bad. Like, cause they didn't even want One Piece. Like they wanted to dub another anime and they were like, oh, you gotta take One Piece with it. And they're like, fuck it. We just do this half-ass dub. They censored a lot. And then when it finally came to Toonami, they never got past Skypiea. For whatever reason, they would never get past Skypiea. They would just cut off. And I don't know if they just wasn't interested in dubbing it anymore to go further. And of course, I don't know where they were in the sub to, like, because I know obviously probably didn't want to catch up too soon, but I don't know the politics behind that. But now One Piece is damn near almost the face of anime at this point, because it's the one that stood around the longest. I mean, we still got Dragon Ball Z, but no, the big three. No, One Piece been around. What's this? Like almost 25 years now, probably 25 years now. It's older than probably a lot of people who are getting into anime. So One Piece is finally getting the love that it deserves, and I feel like for someone like me who's like, oh, now y'all getting into anime, yeah, now y'all want to watch One Piece, I'll come off a certain way. But me, I'm the opposite when it comes to One Piece. And I was gonna put this on record on the podcast, but I'm putting this on record now. If anybody asks me, yo, I want to get into anime, what anime I should go, we made our list about the best starting animes, and normally Death Note is the answer. But from this point on, I'm saying One Piece. Just get into One Piece because it is the greatest fictional storytelling piece of fictional media that exists in our lifetime today. And to not get into it is, if you want to get into anime, to not get into it is damn near criminal. I don't care what the excuse is of I don't want to sit there and watch one show. Like, you have to also question why this one show still exists for so long compared to other shows that, you know, they're one and done. You gotta question why it has such a legacy. Question why, despite all its ups and downs when it came to being imported to America and being marketed to America, it still managed to break through. So you can't argue against why this is great. Like, it's no point no more. Like, I know people do it for memes and clicks, trying to get other people mad, but if you really want to get into anime, just go into One Piece, bro. There's no more start with this, start with that, because One Piece has everything. You can watch multiple stuff at the same time. Like, don't act like, you know, people do it all the time. And there's plenty of like reaction channels that I see who like, oh, I'm just starting at One Piece. And at the time in the anime, like, Wano had just started. And I've seen people in a matter of a few months went through the whole thing all the way to Wano and caught up. It's possible. With me, even though I had less time, it only took me like 2 months of my high school life to catch up from episode 1 all the way. And I watched all the movies from episode 1, all the movies, all the way to the time skip. It's not that long once you really enjoy it. Like, y'all just, so, I don't know. So, yeah. So, I feel like the anime community do need to come together a bit more, because, like I said, there are those people who may be suffering with, you know, they were looked down upon for liking anime, and now they look down upon for liking anime prior to people who like anime now. And it's like there's no win situation for them liking anime. We need to include everybody into why we love this form of media, and not, I won't even say gatekeep, but even like the gatekeeping go both ways, because like I said, the people who already watch the older stuff probably don't even want to watch the newer stuff. and the new people who like, yo, you watching that old stuff? Like, we don't want to see that. And it's like, bro, this is like great storytelling. Yeah, it's damn near like becoming hip hop at this point, where it's like the old heads and the new rappers is like, man, we don't want to hear what y'all gotta say, but at the end of the day, like, we still love this form of media that we participate in one way or another. Y'all go to conventions, y'all write your own stories. People who get inspired to write their own mangas, enjoy their own mangas. Like, there should be no reason why we need to be separating ourselves from enjoying what we love. Especially when people who came up in a situation where all they had was anime, and people won't let them expand. Like, we need to express ourselves, and we can't express ourselves. And everyone like, y'all like anime? Like, oh, that's weird. Why you like that? It's like, it's for kids. Like, no, it's not. If you really get into it, then it's the people who like, oh yeah, man, I've been watching anime. Like, oh man, I don't care. Like, sounding like you trying to put me on like to all this old stuff. Like, man, get out of here. Like, we need to come together. But I don't know if I even made my point across, but that's what I basically want to talk about. Coming together as a community, learning to express yourself creatively, and be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable with the things you enjoy in life. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, it's just two-dimensional art. Same thing when it goes to certain gaming. It's just plastic. When it comes to music, it's just, things you listen to. We all enjoy what we enjoy for certain reasons. And it's better to understand each other on why the reason is, rather than just looking down on each other for certain things. Like, there's so much anime genres, so much anime media, manga to enjoy for all of us, for us to be acting like we're separate and we're different when we're not. So that's it though. So I hope this made sense. Till next video. Hopefully the podcast come back soon. But yeah, peace.